Hello, Patriots. How are y'all doing? That was one of the most touching moments I've ever seen at Freedom Corner, man. That was last night up at the corner. And we got some good singers down there, don't we? That was Tina McCloy singing Silent Night to the Patriots inside the gulag over the phone. And that's, you can't stop this, man. You cannot stop this, Patriots. We're winning this battle. We're going to carry on. We won already. We know we won, okay? And, till we have that big dinner up in, the heavenly realms, we're still winning, you know? And, just, man, that moment last night was unexpected. I didn't realize Tina was going to sing that song to him, and I never realized that Tina had such a beautiful voice. And then when Nicole jumped in with her, and you could hear Sherry singing behind the camera there, I mean, that was just beautiful. That was off of Sapphire Patriots channel last night, and that was just another beautiful moment from Freedom Corner. So, how is everyone doing? I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. I'm still not done with the leftovers at my house, but that's a good thing because there aren't a whole lot of cooks living in the house with me there. Hi, Cleo. Hello, silly for him. Hello. How's it going? Carol Burton, Diana Rose Green. How you all doing? Oh, wait. All right. I got to get my watermark in here before Jeb Vi finds me. There we go. All right. So, I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. It is a good time of year to just think about what you're grateful for, you know? And I'm grateful for family that I live near, and I have kids and grandkids and stuff. And I'm thankful for all the food that gets made during that time of year too, man. Beautiful friends, right? Angelina, hello. Yeah, we're doing leftovers here, Debbie B. How are you, Debbie B? We're hoping you're doing better. Everyone, we're all going through tribulations, man. Health scares. It cements our faith, is what it does. And I don't know. It makes you come to God even more. There is really, everything is in His control, and we just walk in faith that He is in control, that He loves us, that He takes care of us, that not one sparrow drops out of the sky without Him knowing about it. And how are we much less than a sparrow? I mean, we're much more than a sparrow to the Father in heaven. So this period of time, the harvest that normally, traditionally was the harvest, you're looking at all your hard work sitting around in the barns and stuff, and hopefully you got enough to get through the winter, and hopefully we got enough to get through the next 51 days, because in 51 days Trump takes over. There's been some amazing cabinet picks by Trump and positions, nominations and stuff. The latest being Kash Patel for the FBI director. We've been talking about it for weeks, and now it's a reality. We're going to see, it's going to be an interesting time in history when this administration gets into office. In the meantime, where is the present administration? It is nowhere to be found. I never even did see FJB pardon a turkey. I don't know if he could not get through the whole thing. I don't know if just nobody televised it. I don't know if anybody cared. But I never did see FJB pardon a turkey, because it was ironic to me that he was going to pardon a turkey, a bird, while there's 200 J6ers languishing in jail right now over the whole J6 sham, man. Amen, Debbie B. Jehovah Rapha has got it. Amen. Raphael. Amen. So there's been quite several vigils that went by here. I've been watching every single one of them. I missed the Thanksgiving night one because I was out with the family that night. But there have been quite a bunch of moments there. We're getting great phone calls. I'm going to back up to Wednesday. Wednesday, we got a call from Joshua Atwood, from John Benuelos, Greg Purdy and Robert Turner, Jonathan Pollock and Joseph Hutchinson. Every night, Jonathan's out there with a Bible verse, and Joseph is out there with a message from our founding fathers. And one thing I'm thankful for is that we have all these writings from our founding fathers to describe exactly where they were mentally when they were putting together this country. You know, what were the issues that they were talking about at the time? What was the tyranny that they were dealing with? Why did they want to create this beautiful country? And I believe there was divine intervention in that whole thing. All these men were led by God. They were scholars in the scriptures, and the original lawgiver, Moses, you know, God gave Moses the law, and it all goes back to that. This country goes back to the original law of Moses, and that's why this is a Judeo-Christian republic, basically, and that's why other religions can't just plug into this society, I guess. It does seem like they don't want to assimilate, you know. There's other religions out there that are not compatible with democracy and a constitutional republic. So, oh well. We'll get along with it. We are tolerant of those people, but you got to live by the rules, and the Constitution is the rules. And I think everything that's been going on for the last 4 years has raised awareness to everybody about our Constitution. Everything that's happened has caused people to look into the Constitution, to actually pick the thing up and read parts of it, just to understand exactly what's going on. So I think these last 4 years, even though they sucked, was for a reason. And God will turn what was meant for evil, He will turn it into good. That's for sure, man. All right, and silly for him, we're glad you're back at the house right now, recuperating from the treatments there, and that you can get out and around, man. Priscilla, mentioning about trying to follow not Cash Patel, but Cash Kelly. Had a great J6 episode yesterday on his YouTube channel. And there's a lot of people talking about J6. It is not an issue that's going to get forgotten, and it is going to be a day one event, I believe. Cash Patel is totally hip on the J6 injustices that have happened. And there is going to be investigations, and they are going to get to the bottom of everything about it, man. Oh, Biden did pardon turkeys. Okay, did he get through it okay, Debbie B? I didn't watch it. I couldn't find it. Nobody posted it, so I didn't see it. And I didn't really go looking for it. I just figured it would be in my feed. Excuse me. Okay, we got that out, man. Yeah, heads are gonna roll, Priscilla. Heads are gonna roll. So, Wednesday, talking to Joshua Atwood, man, the guy is in the scriptures, and we can hear it in his voice, in his confidence, when he's calling out to the corner. Joshua Atwood is one of the J6ers that is not in the pod. He is out in general population. He is with other criminals that are out there. I believe that he has uplifted several of those guys, and we have gotten names and prisoner numbers from a couple of other people that are in the cell block with Joshua Atwood, and he is an influence of good in there. It's amazing how God is using these men and women inside the prison for his will to be done. One of the comments that came out of Joshua's mouth was, God's got better plans. These guys are not meant to rot in jail. He has confidence that we are going to get delivered. They are going to get delivered. And because God's got better plans for these guys, you know. One of the guys' names was Paul Kovic, and I think we got a couple of letters sent out for him. As Joshua is mentioning this dude who he just met in the prison cell and was talking about his interaction with him, our mods are looking up this guy's name. They get his prisoner number, and they got a name, a prisoner number, and an address posted in the chat already. So if you're not involved with the chats going on at Freedom Corner, you know, give it a try. It is definitely a source of lots and lots of information, man. Another guy we've been hearing from often is John Benuelos, man. Coming out of his mouth, God is real. John's got young children and nephews, I know, and his mother, and he's got a lot of family that he says is watching the vigils. They get to hear him talk. And John Benuelos has got lots of messages coming, like, from God, man. Oh, Paul is a J6er. Okay, that's right. Sorry about that. I got my notes mixed up, Angela. And one of the beautiful statements from John Benuelos was, you'll never be alone with Christ. And these guys are in prison. Some of them are not even with the pod. They're out in general population. And John Benuelos is saying, you'll never be alone with Christ. With Christ, you have somebody. You know somebody's there with you. You can feel it. You can feel it. Greg Purdy and Robert Turner talking about how there's about 11 J6ers left in the pod now. And they were saying that they think there's 15 to 20 J6ers out in general population. Out in that general population is Joshua Atwood. Right now is Guy Reffitt. He is in there right now. And Jeremy Brown is one of the guys that's not in the pod right now. And we do have information from all of them, but we're not hearing from them. And we now, Sherry and Stormtrooper got donations to set up an established phone, a dedicated phone that's just for calling out to the Freedom Corner now. So thank you all the patriots that chipped in some money so that they could get that. And hopefully we are going to be able to get calls from some of the guys that are in general population. I'm interested to hear what their experiences are out there. Sometimes it's a little surprising to hear that the Trump hatred that we assume is everywhere in that prison isn't as rampant as we thought. A couple of comments from the guys in the last couple of months led me to believe that, man. Yeah, I wish we could hear more from Vitaly Gostjankowski too, Angelina. He's a smart dude, but it takes, somebody else has got to read his messages and stuff. Yeah, John Benuelos, from the first conversations we had with him to what we're hearing from him now are vastly different. This has affected his life deeply, as it has every single one of the guys in there. But I hear a change in John Benuelos' voice also when he's calling out there. And all the guys, man. All the guys. So hopefully we're going to get to hear from Guy Reffitt eventually here. There's some monkey business going on with that. Nicole's phone wasn't working, so that's why they got this dedicated phone just for the calls out to Freedom Corner from the J6ers. So now they can pass that phone number around to each other in there, and it's not affecting anybody's personal phone that they're using, you know, your personal phone there. One of the things Greg Purdy and Robert Turner were talking about one night was the bomb threats against the transition teams. Here's the violent left, the party of joy, and all these people that are getting nominated by Trump to be in the cabinet and for lead positions at the three-letter agencies. They're getting bomb threats. There's been a slew of them, a dozen of them. And then some Democrats get some bomb threats too. So we see how that works. If you know, I don't put a whole lot of credibility into bomb threats. We went through it right here in Lancaster when we had the drag queen story hour, and it was nothing. It was absolutely nothing. And you never get to the end of it either. You know, they go, oh, that was from a computer in Uzbekistan, you know, and they never get to the bottom of it. No heads ever roll. Like the phones that the assassin had, you know, where do those phones go to? We never hear what happened with the investigation, and there never seems to be a finalized investigation. That's definitely one of the things we're looking forward to with Kash Patel. He's going to start releasing information. He has said that many times over the last year, and he just reiterated again since he got nominated for the head post of the FBI. Looking so forward to that. How you doing, Patriot D? I see you in there, Roy D. And we got Julius. How's it going, Julius? Good to see y'all. And then another thing, and then Jonathan Pollock and Joseph Hutchinson call in at 9 o'clock every night for the national anthem. And then after the national anthem, Jonathan gives a Bible verse and a little Bible study every single night. And it's amazing, man. He's got one ready every single night. And Joseph also. These guys have something ready for us every single night. The dedication that takes alone is pretty huge. They got things that they're in prison for crying out loud, but they are putting together a message for us. And I am digging Jonathan's style, man. He'll give us a verse every night, and then he'll read the verse, and then he'll go, there you go. There you go. And then he'll talk about the verse, man. I just think the Pollock family, man, Mom and Dad Pollock were quite amazing people to raise. Such awesome children as Jonathan and Olivia, and then Joseph Hutchinson also was pretty much raised by them. And the Lord has blessed that family with wisdom, and you can hear it every time Jonathan and Olivia calls out. Olivia called out, I think, 2 nights ago. So every night there is a worthy message coming out of the prisons there. I think direct messages from God. And it's ironic that God is talking to the world from inside the prison walls, okay? The morality in the world, in our country, has gone downhill. And it is as if God is in a prison. Metaphorically speaking, this country has put God in a prison because the morality has just totally deteriorated. So now God is literally, I've considered Freedom Corner like a movie set, you know, because there they are at a dead-end road with a cemetery, with death on the right-hand side, with incarceration and prison on the left-hand side, looking at a dead-end road with nowhere to go. And God has given us his message right out of the inside of the prison walls through the mouths of Jonathan Pollock and Olivia Pollock and Joshua Atwood and James Copeland and all these guys, or Jonathan Copeland. Every single one of them has got some type of an insight to give us every single night, man. All right, Jericho. Now there is a new female in D.C. I hope Olivia gets to connect with her. Yes. I hope they're putting all the gals, J6 gals, in that pod together. And this is what's so confusing about why they're not all in the J6 pod, and it has to do with this involuntary protection that the jail itself instituted to keep the prisoners safe. They are Trump supporters. They were considered violent terrorists, so they had to keep them separate from the rest of the population to keep everybody safe in the prison, which is the prison's job to do that, man. And on right around Election Day, they reversed the policy that said that the J6ers no longer need involuntary protection inside of that prison. And that's why they're not putting the new guys in there, the recently arrested J6ers. So I've been trying to get everyone to call senators and House of Representatives people about this. I'm done calling a prison. I mean, we have called them thousands and thousands of times. I'm not done with it, but man, it just seems like it goes nowhere. But keep calling them. Keep calling them. This is the pressure that we can put on the prison staff, on Thomas Faust, the head of the DOC in the Department of Corrections there in D.C. WB, I didn't hear if the heating issue got addressed. Okay, this is one of the things that they do in their prison. There's another pod out in general population. It was the Southeast 3 pod in the CTF side, which is the other side of the prison. There just so happens to be 4 J6ers inside this pod. Well, they got message to us. They didn't call us, but they got message to us that it was 90 plus degrees in there. The heater was running full blast in there, and it had been for a long time. And these guys were like getting delusional. I mean, it was ridiculous. And they were keeping them locked up in their cells for 13, 14 hours a day. So by the time we made that announcement, by the end of that night at Freedom Corner, people had been calling the prison already. And we had gotten word that, yeah, they shut the heat off and turned the air conditioning on. Now it's freezing inside this cell. Why are they doing that? Okay, this is retaliation tactics that they're doing. And the other prisoners in that pod are going to go, hey, man, they're doing this because you J6ers are in here with us. And I want these J6ers to be safe in that prison, man. And when you got a group of people that the prison staff wants to retaliate on, and then you put those people in with general population, the general population is going to retaliate eventually, is what I fear, you know. So it's incredible, the juvenile attitude of the prison staff, man. Oh, yeah, you guys say it's too hot? Well, here. And they'd shut the heat off, turn the air conditioning on. It's right when temperatures are dropping down into the 20s at night, you know, which is just insane. That's why I want Congress to go in there and examine these people, investigate these people. Congress is in charge of D.C. Ultimately, Congress. D.C. is not a state. It's a unique entity in the United States. Congress rules D.C. They give rulership to the home rule people, the mayor and all that. But Congress isn't directly responsible for what's going on in D.C. So I really think we got to ramp up our calls to our senators and our House of Representatives, and Democrat or Republican alike, because this is a matter that should have importance to Democrats or Republicans, man. Right, inmates still have basic human rights. We're talking human rights here now, right? And that's what they're violating with the shoddy medical attention that people get when they get injured or sick, the shoddy food they're getting, this retaliation with the heating system and the rec time and the visitation stuff. It's just not cool. Not cool at all. And it's unnecessary. It's above and beyond their normal punishments. So it's It continues. It continues. This stuff's been happening since day one. Okay, we'll jump up to Friday. Friday was day after Thanksgiving. Northern Neck Patriots were having their vigil out there. I saw the beginning of that. They talked to James Grant. So Northern Neck Patriots down in Virginia still having a Friday night vigil every Friday for the J6ers. There are no J6ers in Northern Neck Regional Jail anymore, but Northern Neck Regional Jail has a lot of corruption going on that the Northern Neck Patriots are still tenaciously pursuing. And they are also trying to support the J6ers. A lot of stuff happened in Northern Neck Regional Jail about 2 years ago with the J6ers. They were in horrid conditions, just physically being tortured, beat up. It's incredible. And when this comes out, the country's going to be shocked to find out. This is all stuff we know, but the country doesn't know about this. The country doesn't know what their government did to these men and women in prison. But they're going to find out, and that's Cash Patel. All right, Silly for Him's got the link there for Northern Neck Patriots. And then the Northern Neck Patriot channel has also been live streaming some talks and stuff that's been going on down in Virginia. They had other worthy stuff to watch, especially if you're in Virginia. So there are local topics there that they will bring a speaker in. It was from the Virginia Tea Party, still around in Virginia, and they had some good speakers there. It was sometime before Thanksgiving. But check it out. Friday night, Olivia Pollack called in, and it was her birthday. Olivia Pollack's birthday, November 29th. And we got to sing her happy birthday. That was great. And then she was talking about how she got to see her brother and Joseph somehow, okay? Olivia Pollack reminds me of Joseph in the Bible, okay? Joseph in the Bible was in prison for 7 years or something under Pharaoh, but he was a good guy. So the prison staff put him in charge of things. They gave him responsibilities and they could trust him with things. Well, Olivia Pollack is in the exact same situation there in D.C. where for some reason, man, she has found kindness out of the prison staff. She's helping to decorate and paint. She said she got to work on a mural, I think in a bathroom somewhere in the prison with Joseph Hutchinson and her brother, Jonathan Pollack, man. I mean, what a gift in the middle of prison. All of a sudden that happens. And she was stoked about it. She was so happy that she got to see her brother and Joseph. And it is nice to see that this kindness coming out of the women's side of that prison, at least. And something that Cash Patel was talking about, or Cash Kelly was talking about on that broadcast I mentioned earlier, was that the guards that were in the J6 pod, they would just, they would get an assignment to that pod and think, oh man, these guys are terrorists or they're violent. And they'd work there for a couple of weeks and go, you guys aren't anything at all what they told us you are. And Cash Kelly talked about that in that podcast from yesterday. That's a good podcast to check out if you haven't seen it. I think Sean played it on his stream last night for everybody to watch. And Cash Kelly's just doing great stuff, man. He's a J6er that has been released now. He's back with his family. He's saying how, he thought it was the end of the world when it was happening to him. But hey, he got out. All his kids made it out just fine. It was one of those things that just makes you tougher. And so it is kind of God's hand in all of this. He'll bring us tribulation. I wouldn't know God so great if he didn't if my world didn't come crashing down on me for the fourth time. And I finally got on my knees and asked God to, help me up. And ever since then, it's been amazing. But it's almost like you got to get crushed. God makes... his people are all broken vessels. There's a scripture somewhere about that. None of us are not broken. We're all broken. And that's why we have come to God and given everything over to him. So it's almost a good thing. It's almost a good thing. Okay, check out Cash's friend Leza Alexander. He's a MAGA rapper. All right. Cash has turned me on to a bunch of guys. He's got a dude in Chicago who live streams also. And he does the panels too. He'll do panel discussions with a couple other guys. So it is good to see Cash Kelly just growing leaps and bounds, getting out on social media, which I think is a lot of the places where these J6ers are going to find themselves. There are several J6ers now with YouTube channels out there. I've been following another guy. It's something CBS. And Angelia, you might remember, I turned you on to him in the chat one night. It's like C.B.S. something. And he just got out. I don't even know the dude's name, but he's a J6er. And he just does these little 5-minute videos where he'll talk about something for, 5 minutes, man. Yeah, Cash could run for office someday. It's got to get better. We got to take better care of our smart people, though. And it can't be... when you run for office now, if you're not a sexual offender, they throw a sexual offender's accusations on you. It's just such a dirty, nasty ring to jump in. We need good leaders in government, but man, you just get smeared. And if there's any little thing that they can dig up and flip over backwards to accuse you of something with, that they do it. So it's got to become more civil, more gentlemanly to hold a public office. You got to be held accountable. But man, we got to set some fair game boundaries and stuff. And Vladimir Putin pointed that out the other day. Vladimir Putin was talking about how Russian gangsters don't even behave like the opposite party of Trump here in this country. The Russian gangsters don't even go after women and children. There is a code of ethics among thieves. And Melania Trump had mentioned in her book that's out right now that banks shut her bank account down and Barron's bank account down. And just this retaliation to just family members, just because she's married to Trump. She became an enemy of the banks. And how are these banks not being held accountable for that kind of stuff? It's a crazy spot we're in, America, and I think it's good that we're all going to be starting to talk about this and see it clearly now about exactly what's going on. All right, Elon Musk backs Kash Patel's nomination for FBI director. Awesome. Gateway Pundit putting out the great information. That's another great source of news. And it's viewer supported, man. We gotta put our money where our mouth is and support the people that are giving us the news. I think that's kind of the problem with the right wing here, is that this stuff isn't free. There's a lot of people out there now. Tucker and who's that gal that just got fired from CBS? She's out there, and Megyn Kelly and Julie Kelly. Oh my God! Look at the journalism that Julie Kelly has done in the last 4 years, and she's publicly supported. Man, she needs money to continue to do what she does, so we should be serious about that. If we appreciate the information that these journalists and streamers and broadcasters are giving us, we gotta sign up for $5 a month or $2 a month or whatever. They all got these accounts that you can sign up for just to keep them funded, instead of you cut your cable bill. So how much you saving there? $100 a month for there? Well, make sure you give out $100 to the streamers and the journalists and the people that are giving you the information that we need to make good calls on this and succeed in what we're doing here. And then at the end of the night, Nicole's been having some great little just talks in between the phone calls. But Nicole, once again, has mentioned that there are 18 million children in America right now that has a parent in jail. At least one of their parents is in jail. 18 million kids, man. So they're currently raising money to get Christmas presents for some of these kids. If you're an inmate there, you have to sign up, and they'll see that you can get some money, so they know how much to divvy up. They've raised tens of thousands of dollars in the past. I don't think they're to 10,000 yet this year, but it's quite a ways from Christmas yet. I think they've raised $8,000 so far this year for Christmas presents for inmates, not necessarily just J6er inmates. In addition to supporting the commissary needs and, books and letters for the J6ers that we were on, we're a mobilized army. We're a force of nature when it comes to taking care of these J6ers and their families, man. And that should be how we continue to engage with our government and our society in the future. You see a need and you got some time that you can address it, go do something about it, man. There's a couple of guys I've noticed in the paper here that have been arrested, and I don't got time to do it now, but hopefully when everything cools down, that would be something I would turn my attention to in the future, or get involved with the prison ministry. I met a gal her church is very involved with prison ministry. She was telling me about what's going on here. I was telling her about the J6 thing. And these prisoners, it's a command in the New Testament to look after those that are in jail, definitely. And a lot of the apostles ended up in prison many times. The Apostle Paul, he got beat up and thrown in jail like dozens of times, right? For prison reform in the future, right. How you doing, Brian? It's good to see you there, too, at Freedom Corner, man. Thank you for standing. And we got a bunch of patrons, man. Baltimore Steve, he's down there all the time, man. Tina McCloy. Every time Baltimore Steve goes there, by the way, I don't know if you knew this, he doesn't live there. He lives, out near Baltimore. And he doesn't have a car. So Baltimore Steve takes a train into D.C., does the vigil, waves the flag, sings the song, the anthem, and then takes a train home every time he's there. That's how Steve gets there. I mean, can you doubt this man's commitment to this country and this cause? And in addition to all the other ones, Rebecca was saying just the other night how, wow, I got here real quick tonight because the traffic was down. I was like, well, how fast did you get there? She goes, 40 minutes. So that was a quick ride for Rebecca to get to the vigil that night. And then she's got to drive that much farther home. That ride can take Rebecca up to 2 hours to get from her home to Freedom Corner during bad traffic. And it's, 6 to 7 o'clock. That's when all the bad traffic's out there. So it's the commitment level of these patriots is huge, man. And then you got Nicole running that house down there. A place for the J6 families to stay while they are attending court trials and sentencings for J6ers there. And then other patriots can come visit there. We got patriots coming in and helping Nicole out, like Rita the other week. She was there for a week and a half or two, just helping out there. We got Tina McCloy coming in, helping out. Roy Bunger coming in and helping out. So it's an amazing thing. We got Debbie down there. She lives down there, writing letters, talking to Congress people, staying up on it. We got Suzanne Monk putting together the J6 Pardon Project book. Just dozens and dozens of patriots, Dwight and Lily, and organizing the whole visitation program with the J6ers. It takes a lot of people to put this together. I know it might not look like much when you're watching it for the first or second time, but there is a lot that goes into making sure that Freedom Corner is going to meet up again. for the 853rd night tonight, 853 nights in a row. These Patriots have gotten it together and had a vigil there in D.C. In addition to the anguish that goes along with the haters that just, I don't know why they're there. They don't have a message. It's just, I'll get into that here shortly. I got something I want to play for you. So last night at Freedom Corner, right when everything was starting up, I got an alert that California Patriot live streams was at the border, that they just went live. So I flipped over the California Patriot live streams, and sure enough, they're over there in California at the border wall, doing a live stream for an hour with a bunch of other Patriots that went down there. They don't want any more people coming across that border. Oh, thanks for that link there for Susan Monk's book. Thank you, silly. Suzanne Monk's book is available if you want to read it. I am currently reading it right now, and it is complex. The whole pardon philosophy is pretty complex, and it's going to be, there's good ways of doing it, and it is a book that was written directly to President Trump. President Trump does have his hands on it right now. Suzanne Monk made us aware of that, or his staff have that on hand right now. And you can buy that book for only like $4.47, man, which is really cool. All right, Debbie Robinson, I got the book on Amazon. It is great. Right. Hiya, Betty M. Hello, hello. I love to you too. Thanks for standing with us, Betty M. So and then I checked out California Patriot live streams again later on at the night, and they live streamed a white bus going into an NGO facility that is fenced off with security fencing. You can't see through it, driving in more illegals into San Diego, California last night. So that not only is California Patriot live streams engaged with doing the vigils, they've been out here in D.C. a couple times. Now they're also doing a vigil every month, I think, or every 2 weeks down at the L.A. prison. And now they're down at the border doing activism down there too, man. And that's California Patriot live streams, and Lions Worship is the cameraman on that stuff. Doing awesome work, you guys. Awesome work. Thank you so much. Last night, Joshua Atwood called again. And, you start a phone call. Hey, how's it going? He goes, well, still in jail, but he's doing all right. Definitely misses his kids. He talks about his kids all the time. And the need for him, he's in awe with his gal. I think Brittany is her name. And he is in awe how she is holding down the fort at home with these kids that he's got. Kids are a handful, and that's what Joshua Atwood talks about that a lot. I totally know what's going on there, and he knows this is a big deal for him to not be there, and for his wife, for his gal to be doing this all by herself, and she is doing it. And then Joshua was also saying how he's having trouble getting some meds that he's been on, Shortly before he was put into jail for the J6 stuff, he was in a car accident. A drunk driver hit him. I think he had some type of a concussion, and he does need some kind of medicine. And he's having trouble getting it. So he says every time the medical cart guy goes by, he goes, hey, I'm supposed to get meds. I'm supposed to get meds. And now the medical cart guy is retaliating against him for whatever reason, for reminding the guy to do his job. But also other guys in the pod now, in this pod, are the medical guys ignoring him. So now are the other guys in that pod thinking, oh, he's ignoring us because there's a J6er in with us? Do you see what I'm getting at here, Patriots? This is dangerous, I think. I don't want to alarm people too much. But this is why I feel we need intervention by Congress, like right now. We definitely need intervention by Congress here at the prison in D.C. Jonathan Copeland called last night, and he was just digging it, the fact that Kash Patel got the FBI director position. And that was a huge conversation that went down, 15 minutes talking about Cash Patel and how we're going to get to the bottom of J6, a rigged election, the Mueller investigation, the Russia hoax. It's all coming out. The Epstein list, the Diddy list, it's coming out. Cash Patel is going to release this information to us because we need that information to make educated votes. We need to be informed about who we're electing. And if these people are on that Epstein list or the P. Diddy list, or they were involved with filing false FISA warrants to Congress so they could illegally spy on Trump, nobody got in trouble for lying to the FISA court judge. Why is that, man? Why is that? Oh, right on. Whose mom's going to be there? Copeland's mom. All right, I think Jonathan Copeland's mom is going to be there. Because I think he has a hearing. Yeah. Or sentencing is tomorrow. Okay, thank you, Betty M. Information coming in from the chat. See how it works? Yeah, right on, USA. We need Trump now in the White House now. We got 51 days. And a lot of havoc can get, unleashed on us in 51 days. But I think Trump is nailing it right now. So prayers up for Jonathan Copeland, man. I mean, imagine tonight's rest for Jonathan Copeland. He's getting sentenced tomorrow. They are asking for 12 years, I believe he said. And, what he's up against. He's going to go to bed on a 1-inch mat on a steel bed with no pillow tonight, thinking about, they're going to put me in jail for 12 years tomorrow. And then at the same time, you got in the back of your head, Trump won, Cash Patel is the FBI director. I mean, imagine the emotional roller coaster this is for these guys down there. You don't know if this is all going to happen. It's an emotional roller coaster. John Benuelos called last night. He and Tina McCloy took the call. Tina does the phone calls at Lewisburg. But she jumped in and took John's call last night, and Tina asked him, well, what's your favorite Bible verse? And Benuelos went into like a 3-minute thing about Psalms 37, man. What's your favorite verse, John? Well, I like the whole thing. And then he just expounded on why he likes Psalms 37, man. You see that God working on these guys individually, each one individually, man. And then at the end of the night, man, of course, Tina, national anthem, Jonathan Pollock, Joseph Hutchinson, there you go. There you go, with a Bible verse. And then Tina sang Silent Night, sang like three whole verses of it, man. And then everybody joined in at the end. And I tell you, man, the tears were flowing in the chat last night when that happened. All right, somebody give Brian the time there. Brian is J6er. He's been at the corner quite a bit. And when he's not getting harassed by D.C. court. And if somebody knows what time that'll be tomorrow, give him a heads up in the chat here, man. So yeah, I guess there's a lot of like J6 family members in the chat with me on Sapphire Patriots channel, but I'm just not sure, who they are. I know I've met a bunch of them down there. I met Dominic Box's mom and a bunch of the wives and stuff and kids, but man, I can't keep it all straight. Okay, Betty M says it's at 8:30, 9:30. Yeah, nothing happens at 8:30 there, does it, Betty? These are judges. They don't get to work before 9. So that's it, man. I mean, Freedom Corner is going great. And it's getting cold. Somebody said in the chat, man, they just sent a whole box of hand warmers down there. It should arrive today. So just in time with that. It's getting down into the 20s at night. I just got my Jamie Crow scarf back out for the season. I love this scarf. Thank you, Jamie Crow. And I think a lot of other people down. I got it while I was down at Freedom Corner last year. Awesome stuff there. Bart Shively is going through some tough times right now. Let's prayers up for Bart. He is going through his chemo treatments right now. He's living on his own. He has to do everything himself. He doesn't really have people that are helping him out with, cooking food, just keeping things going at the house. So he's tired all the time. And in addition to being on probation, jumping through all the hoops of being on probation and stuff. So prayers up for Bart. If you can, get some words of encouragement to Bart there. I got Bart's address here if you want to send him something. That's Bart Shively, P.O. Box 79 in Dillsburg, PA. Dillsburg, Dillsburg, PA, 17019. So send Bart a Christmas card or something, man. Tell him you're still thinking about him. We are still thinking about him. And we want him to get through this chemo treatment. He did 15 months in DC Gulag there. Got released on a medical thing because they were trying to treat him for cancer in the prison, and it wasn't working out. And we all thought Bart was going to die in there, man. There you go, Trina. Thanks, Trina. P.O. Box 79, Dillsburg, PA 17019. Bart can also use financial help, too. He's I think he said he had to quit his job. He was working, and something happened with the work. I don't know if it was why he's not working right now, but he needs financial assistance. Everything's good. He's got a place to live. He's got 2 dogs that he got right when he got out. He is digging the companionship with these dogs. The dogs help him a lot with just being there with them, so he's not alone all the time, and it gets him outside. He's got a spot behind his house where he can walk these dogs. They're big dogs too, so. And, it gives you a sense of purpose when you're caring for the dogs, too. And the reciprocal love you get from dogs. I mean, it's awesome. So, definitely, we got a lot of us are hurting. Of course, we got Silly for Him, Julius, Debbie B. We're all going through some tough medical conditions, man. So, we give our praises to God and we lay our problems at His feet. And He will take care of us, that's for sure. Okay, that's about it for Freedom Corner. I got this goofy little thing. I wouldn't mind playing for you guys if you got... I think it's still early enough to play this, but I got in a Jamie Crow panel the other night, and these angry little trolls are something else. They are just livid, and they don't know how to handle themselves. They're losing their minds, and they don't know. Their whole world is crushing in on them right now. And it's kind of funny what they do. So what happened was Jamie somehow accidentally left in a troll. This troll got in on the chat or the panel, right? So there was a guy that we were thinking he was going to come in. So here, this troll uses somebody else's picture here and somebody else's name. So we don't know who the troll is. They're anonymous. They're chicken. They don't show their faces. And he just came into the chat as if, Jamie was assuming it was Frankie, okay? Frankie Bobby from the 1776 movement, right? So here's what they come in and they do.
Hello? Hey, Jericho. Any flagpoles up anybody's butts lately? Yeah, I know you have, buddy. nobody.
Really sad you did not come to McDonald's today. You really should have helped him out today. D-Watt is very mad with you, dude. Bottom line.
You get rid of.
Jericho, you really need to find something else to do with your time other than sitting out here and complaining about trolls all day.
Creative. Look how
Yeah,
creative.
like that.
The great thing is, Jericho, I can't hear a word you're saying, so because I have a life and going out and doing things.
You're talking about Jesus,
Where you're talking to nostrils here.
and you just can't. You'll never listen, but God will lead you to us.
Yep. Bottom line, Jericho. Need money, Jericho. Need some Charlie funds.
How do you
Here,
get,
Jericho, where are my Charlie funds? Can you help me out, buddy? Come on, buddy.
how do we
Bottom
get?
line. Hey, are you coming? You gonna come look at the freaking lights with me? You gonna go look at cars with me?
How do you get rid of him?
Bottom line. Come on, let's do it.
You. How do we get rid of him? There, I did. Oh my God.
Oh, they're so angry. They just did that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, Jamie? Can you imagine like being one of these trolls and like watching your channel and watching my channel and Sherry and Trooper and Nicole, Rebecca's channel,
I know. Like,
Glory be, and they know all of our names and they know everything we did today
I know.
because we live stream everything, and they think they're like super sleuthy by being able to figure everything out and keep track of who's
Yeah.
talking to who and who said what to where.
Oh,
Isn't
they
it
porn
incredible?
bomb me, so it doesn't matter. I'm not even worried about it.
It's for the whole world to see, man.
Right.
It's for the whole world to see.
There you go, man. So who knows who this guy was, right? He's a faceless coward. He probably voted for Kamala, so he's all busted up. They watch all our channels. They know everything we're doing because we're live streamers, right? Nothing's hidden here. He has no ability to create anything unique. It doesn't do content of his own. He poaches other people's content. But I found it wild how he comes in there and he slaps accusations against people. He calls people names, but he won't show his own face, right? And then it gets jumbled up. Now here's what's really cool. And he goes, I can't hear you. And the next thing you hear out of my voice is Jesus. And God keeps bringing you here. So the only clear message that God allowed to come out of that whole thing to him was Jesus' name and the fact that God leads you to us to hear the message so that he can save you. It's all in the love of God that we got these trolls, man. They come here to hear about Jesus, man. They think they're hounding us, but God's dragging them into our chats by the ears. And then we're like two old people. Jamie's over there like figuring out, how do I get him out of here? How do I get him out of here? We barely know how to operate our phones. Yet these are like these computer geekheads that sit around there and try to make and trip us up like this. So I don't know. I think it's kind of entertaining. I don't like it. I wish it would stop. It's ridiculous. It's like kid stuff. It's like, I don't know what it's like, It's like wanting to go play a game of football and a couple of third graders show up and you got to let them play too. So you can't really have a great game of football, or I don't know. It's really lame, man. Really lame how they operate like that. What's up, Republic Road Reel? How's it going, bud? Hope everything's going well with you. We're into the holiday season now. And the news is happening. It's hard to keep up with it. All I'm doing is paying attention to what Trump is doing. Trump is rocking it. His appointments are right on target. He is rattling the deep state in D.C. He is putting out fires all over the place already. He's not even in office. this is somewhat of a golden time for him where he's not actually in power. So the threat of his reign is upon the other leaders of other countries right now. Excuse me. The border is still wide open. There was news that a big caravan of illegals was heading towards the border, and it was a crisis moment. One of the reasons that California Patriot live streams was down at the border, I'm assuming, was that this horde of people were approaching the border. Trump wanted to shut that down. He came out with nothing more than a statement that he was going to put a 25% tariff on all Mexican goods and all Canadian goods if they don't start actively shutting down the illegal immigration coming into our country and the illegal fentanyl that's coming into this country specifically. Because that fentanyl that's coming in, that they're allowing in from Mexico and Canada, is killing us by the thousands. Estimated 500,000 people have died in Joe Biden's reign administration from fentanyl that has illegally come across this country, come into this country across that border. So we want that stopped. Trump just made a statement, and then they called him up. The head of Mexico now, the president of Mexico, has got like some Jewish name or something really weird. They got a woman with a Jewish name now that's the lead of the president of Mexico. She called him up, said, okay, we're going to help you out. Just don't put a tariff on everything. And so we'll see what Trump does on day one. And then Justin Trudeau just came down to Mar-a-Lago, had dinner. I saw a photo of Trudeau sitting at a dinner table with Trump, man. So we got some high-level discussions going on. And I don't think these discussions take very long. It's pretty upfront what's going on. Canada is not facilitating the security of our country like we facilitate the security of their country. That borders must be reciprocal on the security there. And same thing with Mexico. Mexico's been allowing these caravans, allowing these cartels to operate a couple of miles from our border. I've heard Mexico isn't even, the government of Mexico is not even in control of the first 20 miles of border into Mexico. The cartels own and run that right now. It's so outlaw there right now. So Trump has made a statement that he's going to send the military in against these cartels if it continues. Put tariffs on the products if the Mexican government doesn't step up and do something about it. So it's a golden time right now for Trump, and he is making the most of it and using this time. I don't ever remember sitting around eagerly awaiting to hear cabinet appointments from any president ever in my life. But this is exciting, man. The president has a Truth Social page. Everybody that gets announced is going to be on that platform. So you can weed out all the rumor mill stuff that's going on with the mainstream media, because they're still trying to spread lies all over the place about Trump and his new administration. So all you got to do is just go to Truth Social. For weeks they've been talking about Kash Patel being FBI director, but I didn't believe it till it was on a Truth Social post 2 nights ago. So good way to verify it. And we're learning how to adapt in a new realm of social media now. The mainstream corporate media is on its way out. They are dying. They are dead. I don't think they'll ever recover. They are just, it's like drinking out of a well of water that is polluted. You know, once you get sick off of that water in this well here, are you ever going to go back and drink that water again? No, you're never going to go back to that well. You're going to find your water somewhere else, right? It's the same thing. Same thing. I don't understand the people that continue to go back to CBS and the corporate media and Fox, to tell you the truth. Yeah, right. How do you do it? How dare you in this country, man? Hello, Carrie's Musings. Good to see you, man. Yeah, we're thinking about you, Josh, there, Republic Road Reel. I know this is the first. Your mother had recently passed away. I can't imagine it was probably a traumatic holiday for you, man. But every day is another battle, man. We gotta put faith in God, and He will take care of us. Yeah, Fox plays both sides. I've had it with Fox. I had it with Fox 15 years ago, to tell you the truth. There is some good stuff on Fox, but their main flaw is not reporting relevant information. And Pfizer, funds most of their programming. The pharmaceutical business gives these TV stations all this money. That's why they didn't report anything accurately during the COVID outbreak, man. Oh, right on, Josh. You did that. Got together with some friends, man. That's good. That's good. Good friends are a blessing too, aren't they? And man, what a bunch of great friends we have now, right? Okay, FCC nominee Brendan Carr is already making comments about the biased mainstream media and social media. Good. That was another one of Trump's appointments. The FCC looks like it should get shaken up. Oh, I didn't know that, silly. Trump picks daughter Tiffany's billionaire father-in-law to serve as Arab and Middle Eastern Affairs advisor. Awesome. The guy that he appointed for the National Institute of Health is an amazing dude. He is definitely up on the masks didn't work, the social distancing was baloney, and that guy will get to the bottom of things. And then working in conjunction with Elon Musk and Vivek and Doge, I think we're gonna make some big progress here. But at the same time, we got to be gearing up right now for primary season 2026, because the remaining rhinos are going to all totally expose themselves right now, and there's a lot of them. And we must get them out in the primaries. The primaries were rigged too, okay? Not just the regular elections were rigged, but the primaries are rigged, and that is how the rhinos hold control over the Republican Party. That is also how the Democrats hold control over their party. That's why Nancy Pelosi is continuously the representative from San Francisco. Because every time they get to a primary, they rig the primaries when nobody's looking and nobody's voting. It's a lot easier to rig a primary. But MAGA must activate and get ready for the primary season now. And take notes on how we did it this year. We get people to register. We get people to plug in, stay informed, find sources of good information. And we make sure that the next Republican candidates are MAGA. Mitch McConnell's got to go. Lindsey Graham has got to go. Murkowski's got to go. Collins got to go. They are horrific people. There's currently, right now, Republican senators are confirming far left liberal judges that the Biden administration, in their last gasps of air, are trying to get seated behind the bench across this country. They're still seating judges, and Republicans are facilitating it for them. These people got to go. They got to go. Okay, President Trump taps Florida Sheriff Chad Chronister to lead the DEA. This guy's on fire. He's another Florida guy, right? Yep. So Florida is providing a lot of key people in this administration, right down there around Mar-a-Lago. So all of that conflict between Trump and DeSantis, I gotta imagine that was nothing but theater at this point, because he just got Pam Bondi, the Florida AG, for the head attorney general job. We got Matt Gaetz, a representative. He's going to get put in somewhere. But that was a great head fake Trump did with that too, man. Said all their hair on fire with saying Gates was going to be the attorney general, and then pulled him out. they spent all their bullets on Matt Gaetz, and then Gaetz stepped down, and then he put Pam Bondi in place, man. I hope Pam Bondi does a good job. I hope all these people do a good job. But I don't see the conflict is not going to be happening with Trump's appointments. It's going to be happening with the Republican Senate right now. They are drawing lines to resist Trump, man. And they are the scum of the earth. They are worse than Democrats, man. They are backstabbing, just two-faced, money-grubbing, corrupt officials. They're all multimillionaires and on senator salaries. You know, how does that happen? We got Kamala Harris blew through $1.5 billion on her campaign. Thank God she's not in office. I got to imagine now she's, asking for donations so she can pay off her debts right now. I hope all these people that actually did vote for Kamala this time are taking a seriously hard look at this. How did she lose this race? How did they talk all these people into voting for her? She can't run a campaign, much less a country, right? All right, Betty, we will see you at the corner later on. Thanks for dropping in, joining us, and putting information into the chat. Thank you. Gaetz could find a position in the DOJ, just maybe not the Attorney General. There are lead prosecutors. The guy who leads all the J6 prosecutions, Matthew Graves, is perhaps Matthew Gaetz will get a position like that, where he is leading a prosecution against all the judges and prosecutors and corruption and DOJ and Bureau of Prisons and all that pertaining to the J6. Somebody's going to have to focus on that, and I can't think of a better person than Matt Gaetz to do that. Oh, yeah, Trump's pulling some moves with the BRICS thing, too, right? Trump and BRICS. Breaking China's bank and making Xi lose face with 100% tariffs. Trump also said, yes, that was his statement, 100% tariffs on anybody who's going to facilitate trade with their country, not in U.S. dollars. So BRICS is trying to get this other monetary system going on. And Trump just said, go ahead, but you're not going to trade anything with the United States of America for less than 100% tariff. So I think that's going to snap a lot of them out of it and put them back in line. And we can continue to use the U.S. dollar for trade all across the world. We need to have that. We need to have that power. And we need to straighten out our Federal Reserve. I can't wait to see what's going on with that. We still got to get some appointments in the Federal Reserve from Trump. So looking forward to seeing who he's going to put in place there. But I can't ever remember being excited about this stuff when Bush got elected. I could tell you, man, I remember Barack Obama, when he was in office, he would disappear for like 2-3 months. You wouldn't hear a peep out of it. You wouldn't know where he is, what he's doing. He would just disappear. He would be out of the news. You don't know what's going on. And when Trump's first administration was here, you heard from Trump every single day on Twitter, on the news, on somewhere. He was always out doing something. The dude is a workaholic, and I can't think of a better person to put in charge of our country, man. Hey there, Party Bonza. Good to see you, man. Gotta love Trump, man. I mean, God crafted him specifically to run this country, man. And raise a beautiful family and organize, bring together a group of patriots for the future running of this country. Trump's out in 4 years. God bless him, man. He deserves it after what he's been through. Every single sham prosecution that has come against him over the last year has blown up in their faces. They are no longer. Trump is not a convicted felon anymore. That fell through. All those cases have fallen through. They are still prosecuting some of the people that were close to Trump down in Atlanta right now. That's got to end also. But these crooked prosecutions have ceased against Trump. Now they got to cease against all the other people that were in Trump's orbit that also got prosecuted. And there needs to be retaliation, I believe, for throwing people in prison without illegal, in lawfare, using lawfare to throw innocent people in prison, like the J6ers, like Bannon, and the prosecutions that Giuliani has gone through, and General Flynn, and all that. All right, well, if you got some more time, I got some more memes. I heard some stuff went down with Ray Epps. I think he was suing. He had a lawsuit or something, and that got thrown out of court, so he can't sue anybody. But anyways, Ray Epps is on camera saying, we need to go into the Capitol, on the record saying, I orchestrated the riots at the Capitol, the breaches. Epps is also the only January 6th participant that the left MSM defends. So I wonder what is going on with that. So maybe we need a special prosecutor like Matt Gaetz to just look into all of this stuff. Why did they put on a sham J6 commission during primetime TV written by Hollywood producers to further brainwash the people of America into prosecuting the January 6th riots? Why did they need to inflate that into the worst happening since 9/11 in Pearl Harbor, when all it was a rowdy riot that had infiltrators that started trouble there? None of our patriots were the ones throwing the first punches at that. And here's what I can't wait to see again, man. Trump walking the line in front of these journalists at the White House, pointing them out. Liberal White House reporters already exhausted with second Trump term. Get used to it. Find your replacements, man. I would like to see Trump eject those people from the White House journalist pool, reporter pool. Make them stand at the back of the room, man. Let's get some real people up front asking real questions, like Benny Johnson, like all them other guys. Steve Bannon, get him in there. I think Trump has already appointed a press secretary. And when I was checking into her, she looked like a good choice. Looked like a really good choice. Yeah, let's get Tucker Carlson in there asking questions. And not just softball questions. I mean, let's get to the bottom of why Trump is doing everything he's doing. The reasons why he does it. Let's get into his brain and figure out how he thinks about things. And here's what we're going to be doing. We're going to save the planet. We're going to delete the elite. Can't wait. This was just some cool artwork, I thought, man. The three monsters. Misinformation, disinformation, and no information. And isn't that where we're at? With all this censorship that's going on, how can we make intelligent decisions on anything about who we put into office? Amen, Corey. We demand justice. I want to watch justice happen. Here might be somewhat of a partial explanation for this, man. Psychologist Stanley Milgram found that 80% of the population do not have the psychological or moral resources to defy an authority's order, no matter how illegitimate the order is. Therefore, only 20% have critical thinking capacity. This explains quite a lot of it. There's quite a bit of information out about that, where they did these studies. They sat a guy at a desk, and he had a control board in front of him that this man thought was hooked up to another man in another room, and that the subject was administering electrical shocks to this man. But he was told that if you go over a certain amount, or if you go over 80 on this electrical shock thing, you're going to kill the guy. And over the course of like an hour or two, the guy telling the guy behind the control board what to do, he said, keep increasing it, keep increasing it. And he did, until he got to the level where he thought he was administering a lethal dose of electricity to somebody. And that's what these 80% of people are. And all that information is out there already. They've had congressional hearings on all of this stuff already. I would like to see congressional hearings become more effective. Let's just relive a little bit about what we went through, man. Never forget. This was a real sign. This was a real sign at a real store back during the pandemic, man. And isn't it ironic? It had a broken heart on there, isn't it? Now that we know what we know, at least we know what it is. The whole rest of the country doesn't know this yet, but they're finding out. This news, this is the information that has to come out. All the heart damage. I think I got another one about that too here. This was actually happening. Force the vaccination now. Kill the unvaccinated. Take their kids. Comply or die. Screw your rights, says Arnold Schwarzenegger. Remember that? Remember? Gene Simmons said, screw your rights. Hi there, Tamara Root. Good to see you. Oh, this is funny, man. I don't know if you guys all know who Rob Reiner is. He was on that show All in the Family, and he was Meathead. And he is just a liberal retard. And right after the election, he came out on social media and he said, I'm checking into a facility where I can have peace and try to get over the anguish of this race, the loss that we just took. And then he deleted all of his Twitter, all of his social media posts. He deleted them. So here we got, this is a meme. This isn't really a photo of Rob Reiner in a room there, but is Donald Trump's victory in the room with us right now? And it's just wild how these people that are getting crushed. Oh, I heard Ellen DeGeneres ran from the country. She's like, me and my wife are going, and we're going to go live in Europe. And she went to her mansion in England and found out it was completely flooded. But the whole thing that these people are afraid of is making America great again. I just don't get it, man. It's a figment of their imagination, literally. Trump derangement syndrome, right? It's a mental illness. It is real to them. All that plexiglass, all the arrows on the floor. Remember that? They had to follow the arrows on the floor. The thing that really got me mad, though, was the nursing home, man, when they would not let people visit their grandma in the nursing homes. That was below human, man. That was horrible. People actually had to die behind plastic because of these tyrants. It was horrific. Horrific, man. Here we got Barack Obama. Just to be clear, I dropped a bomb every 20 minutes for 8 years. Nobody said a thing about it. Nobody said a darn thing. There's a cool piece of artwork I just saw lately. That's Dan Scavino Jr. posting this. There's the caveman sitting around thinking, we really need to ban fire before somebody gets hurt. Hey there, Boomer. Hi, Cinnabee. All right, everybody's getting ready, getting done with their dinner, getting ready for Freedom Corner. ACB got the countdown going on. 49 days. 18 hours and 9 minutes now till noon on January 20th. Right on, ACB. Keep the countdown going, man. Oh, awesome, Stu. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we trust in the name of our Lord, our God. They are brought to their knees and fall, but we rise up and stand firm. Amen. Thank you, Ann. Yes, silly for him. Slow and easy. Slow and easy. We know you just want to get out there and run, but slow and easy. Hopefully we're going to get an investigation into this Vindman guy and his twin. This is the guy who lied to the country, to Congress, to everybody, DOJ, FBI, about everything. Let's prosecute him, man. The party that says men can get pregnant wants to control disinformation on the internet. The irony. The irony is so thick. I love these AI generated photos of Trump here. Right, Denise? Vindman needs to go to prison, man. And we knew that. We knew that 7 years ago. Yeah, Boomer. FBI in panic mode, as they should be. Kash Patel says he wants to empty the J. Edgar Hoover building in D.C., turn it into a museum for the failure of the deep state, and put 7,000 agents that supposedly work in that building out into the field. He said they're cops. Go be cops. Okay, and silly for him with the Gateway Pundit. Democrat Congressman elect floats his twin brother, Vindman, Alexander Vindman, filing a defamation suit against Elon Musk. Another handy idiot for the left. Denise, he looks kind of sexy with that beard. And I hope Trump does get to enjoy his golden years, man. When he is done with this, I hope he just grows a beard and kicks back and plays golf, you know. I hope he does get to enjoy his twilight years after all that he has sacrificed for this country. So, yeah, they're coming after anybody that's affiliated with Trump. Elon's been getting trouble out of Europe with the X. They're attacking his business. They're attacking him. Okay, here's a guy I'm hearing rumblings about. You guys all remember Ron Paul? Here he is with a defibrillator in front of the Constitution. Can we revive it? Can we bring it back? Come on, Ron Paul. This guy's been shouting from the rooftops for decades, man. I've been a Ron Paul fan ever since I knew who Ron Paul was. Yeah, there you go, silly. I hope those windows open. It'd be nice if they open. So the FBI is in the middle of getting a brand new FBI headquarters, which will be built in what's it called? Up by the campground that we've been camping at there in Maryland. So the possibility that the actual J. Edgar Hoover building could become some type of a museum is a distinct possibility. It could actually happen. Okay, here's me waiting for millions of people to become irate over the fact that they've been lied to, duped, and poisoned by the people who were supposed to be saving them. Been waiting a long, long time. Yeah, Denise, that's Rand Paul's father. Ron Paul is Rand Paul's father. I think we still need Rand in the Senate, though. And yeah, Cinnabee, we pay for too many empty buildings now. And I've been in front of that J. Edgar Hoover building many times, and I didn't see 7,000 people working in there. I couldn't see anybody working in there, to tell you the truth. You could see into the windows, and I never saw a person in that building other than a security guard coming out to see what we were yelling at, you know. I hope they're scared. I hope they are quaking in their boots. Because they've had us quaking in our boots for too long. The Ma Bell treatment. Right on, Boomer. Here's the brainless masses saying World War III is good. Biden is doing a great job. Yeah. Most government workers are still working from home. Yeah, right, Denise. Elon's going to put the end to that. They're going to... No more working in your jammies. We all got real big boy jobs. You got to do your job now. Okay, I don't know if you guys know who Sean Penn is, but, you know, when I was a kid, he was in a movie, and we all thought, oh, he's the coolest guy ever. But then Sean Penn went over to Ukraine right when Biden got elected, and Sean Penn is now a movie producer. So we were all wondering, well, what is Sean Penn going over there for? And it is my belief that Sean Penn has been filming all the Ukraine war footage that we've been seeing. And it's been proven that they are using movie sets out there with actors. A lot of the stuff that we saw was faked. Oh, I forgot he was married to Madonna. That's true. But really, Sean Penn looks like all three of the Stooges put together. Larry, Moe, and Curly. It's amazing how true that is. Yeah, Hollywood's going to be washed up for sure. It's going to be Hollyweird. Okay, Belinda, you got a new account. Okay. Thanks for the heads up, Belinda. You never know. They could be faking the Belinda account now. We're going to have to check into that. The trolls do that, Belinda. So thanks for the heads up. I thought they faked the Priscilla account the other night, but I was wrong. That really was you, Priscilla. Yeah, here's what I'm waiting to see right here. The new orange. Oh, Trina, he was also married to Robin Wright. Sean Penn was also married to Robin Wright. And here's how it's done. Now we know. Now we know what was going on. Lock them up. Enough is enough. We're going to reinvent our country, America. They've erased our culture. We got to reinvent it. And I see a beautiful thing on the horizon right now. It's a new dawn. We got a new man in office. A unique man, and the team that he is putting together is a beautiful thing. And it's a team of younger people. It's a team of forward thinkers. So I would call them progressive, you know. Even though progressives have taken the word progressive and totally twisted it, just like they do with all other words. But I think we got a bright future ahead of us here. Elon does respect this country, Trina. He knows what we have here. Elon originally is an African American from South Africa. That's right, January 20th can't come soon enough. I just dread what they're going to do between now and then. We got to keep our heads on a swivel. And just a reminder, there is no such thing as government funded because it's taxpayer funded. I just heard the city of Chicago receives over $1 billion a year from the federal government. $1 billion. And it was more than $1 billion. It was like $1.3 billion, man. So the federal government makes all the people of Chicago pay federal taxes, and then they give $1 billion and 1.3 billion back. Is that not a money laundering system? If they didn't tax them, they would still have the money, and then they could just use it there without giving it to the federal first, and then having the feds give it back to them. Now the feds got your money, and now they got leverage over you. Now you got to jump through all the federal hoops to get your money back. I tell you, people, we should have streets of gold. Streets of gold. Trump wanted to build that wall at a cost of $5 billion originally. How many hundreds of billions have we just sent to Ukraine? We could have solved every single problem in this country for the amount of money that we just gave to Ukraine. We could have built new schools. We could have built new highways. We could have gave every veteran a house. We could have taken care of the homeless. We could have set up free food cafes for anybody who needs it, you know? This was the thumbnail picture. I just thought that was cool. Little kid riding his big wheel with his BB gun. I remember doing that. Right, Trina? Trina says, this country was rich before the income tax started. But then the government got greedy. It always does. Pray for the people in North Carolina and Tennessee. Glory B is currently down in North Carolina. She's been doing a stream every day. I followed her around yesterday. She was showing some of the houses that some of these people are going to have to live in all winter. It's better than nothing. And it's not FEMA providing these houses for people. It is Christian charities that are building and giving these shelters out to people to live in over the winter until they can get back on their feet. There is a big problem down there. Some of these people, the land that they had their house on doesn't even exist anymore. It is now a washed out riverbed, and there's absolutely no way that you could possibly build a house in it again. So there is going to have to be some type of a relocation. But we have done this in the past. History will show there was something called the Tennessee Valley Water Authority, that these devastating floods happened before. And we had an organization called the Civilian Conservation Corps in the late 30s, early 40s that was meant to relieve give citizen relief from the Depression. So the government decided to hire on a lot of young men and give them jobs, and they put together these massive projects where they would reroute rivers, they would build bridges and highways and create flood control projects. And that's, I think, how the Tennessee Valley Water Authority got started. And I think a lot of these areas in North Carolina where this has just happened were areas that this needs to occur. They need to do some flood project planning there. You can't build neighborhoods right on a river anymore. And we don't do that anymore because we see what happens when that happens. Rivers do have 100-year floods, 500-year floods, 1,000-year floods. And if you got a house there, it's going to get wiped out and people are going to die. So there needs to be some type of a replanning effort in North Carolina and Tennessee. And hopefully we can do that in a smart fashion with a smart government. But yes, the North Carolina governor is dropping the ball with finding aid for these people that were affected by that hurricane. And I'm sure there's going to be some pain involved with that. Some of the people that got wiped out are just, they were poor. Not all of them. And one thing that I find wild is how the line of decimation is so clear there. All of the catastrophic damage happened inside the rivers. And if you just go up the hill 30 feet, there's houses that are standing there, you know, maybe a tree or a limb fell down, but there's no damage, like right next to them there. I've heard about the land grab stuff. Yeah, Boomer. Heard about this uranium mine, but I haven't heard anything about it since then. I heard about a baby that supposedly died, froze to death because their RV got taken away. There was a whole story about this baby that died. Well, I just found out that's hogwash. So this land grab stuff, these stories, we got a lying MSM out there telling us stuff. And hopefully we got good journalists now that are going to run down these leads, run down these stories, and keep things like a land grab from happening. But it is happening, and it's happening over in Lahaina, over in Hawaii right now. Those people are still hurting, and the government, FEMA pulled out of there a long time ago. Glory B did show us an actual FEMA relief station that was still up in operation. And I heard FEMA pulled out of North Carolina, but their Glory B just showed me proof that it didn't yet. There is a relief station with showers and water storage and all kinds of stuff that FEMA did set up for the people that is still in operation. Yeah, right. A lot of the homes were second homes for people. They were their vacation houses along the river. I saw a guy, he had a whole campground down in the river, and he didn't even have flood insurance. But half of his campground is gone. I mean, he's not going to get it back. And luckily, the half of his campground that was just 15 feet higher out of the river is fine. But that guy's never going to get the rest of his campground back. You can't just start dumping dirt into the river again to redevelop the ground that just all vanished, just got washed out of there. All right, I think that's about it, man. So yeah, we got to figure out how to get our information. I think it's going to develop where we're figuring it out. We get it from live streamers now. We got our sources like Julie Kelly that's going to report on things accurately, and Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson. We got the Doge we'll see how that's gonna all pan out. What are they actually gonna have the power to do? Are they just gonna be a recommendation board for other agencies? There's a lot of exciting stuff to pan out, but we do know that we are pointed now in the right direction, I believe, to straighten out our government and take back the power that Congress lost control of. Basically, Congress put all these agencies in charge of stuff. They are supposed to be in charge of these agencies, but they've totally lost control of it. And that's where we find ourselves now. So yeah, if you can, folks, I'm a live streamer. I could use donations, Patriots. I got expenses. I've only been going on about once a week right now because things are thin. But definitely support your live streamers. The ones down at the corner especially, they need help. But the help is coming through there. The help is coming through. It shows up just in the nick of time. Like those hand warmers that are showing up today. That's exactly right when they needed them, man. Right when they needed them. So we're going to wrap it up here, Patriots. Thank you so much for joining me and running through the news and keeping tabs on what's going on with the J6 issues there. Pray for James Copeland tomorrow going into sentencing. They're gonna throw 12 years at him, no doubt about it. Let's see if there is a change of heart with the judges, though. There were 2 judges that said. There is 2 judges that said they're not scheduling any more J6 cases there, man. I better check into that Give Send Go account, Trina. I got a notice on that, and I left it hanging. I got to check in. So don't Give Send Go. I don't think works anymore. I'm sorry. But the P.O. box is where I get most donations right there. So if you can't support me somehow that way, and let's just keep in there, staying plugged in, figuring everything out day by day. It's exciting. We got some a good future ahead of us here, Patriots, as long as we keep at it. We can't just stop what we're doing right now. We ran like crazy to get to this election. We got Trump elected, but now we need total engagement in the affairs of our governments right now. We're taking care of the federal government right now, but we got state governments coming up. We got to get rid of the rhinos and the primaries. So there are things that we can't just stop. This is our new life. So pace yourself, find a spot for yourself. Start a channel, become a mod, get involved with school boards, get in your Republican committee. There's all kinds of places to jump in. Find a spot for yourself so that you can contribute to the bright future that we all want for this country. God bless you, Patriots. Thanks for joining in. This is Jericho, over and out.